Is this a form of psychoanalysis?
No, psychoanalysis, they lay back. Don't associate Scientology with such people. That's terrible. That's bad manners.
What's up, you degenerates? It's nomad.nelly, and in this episode I investigated Denver's Church of Scientology. And you must be wondering, Damon, why did you do that? I want the clout. In this video we did street interviews with passerbys. We're gonna go into somewhat of depth of what the Church of Scientology is. I'm gonna be giving you my description of what happened when I went into the Church of Scientology, because they are very strict about filming. So what is Scientology? Is it a religion, a self-help movement, a sci-fi book club gone wrong? Let's break it down. It all starts with this guy, Lafayette Ronald Hubbard. Born in 1911, he was a science fiction author who wrote a lot, from pulp fiction to philosophical ramblings. In the 1950s, he published Dianetics, a book that promises to help people overcome trauma, anxiety, and irrational fears through the process called auditing. Basically, you relive painful reenactments of your life, and people loved it at first. But when the Dianetics movement started to lose momentum and money, Hubbard made a pivot. In 1953, he officially founded the Church of Scientology and rebranded his techniques as spiritual rather than physiological. Scientology teaches you that there is Thetan, a sort of immortal spiritual being. Your body, just a temporary shell. Your problems, they're from past traumas and not from this life, but potentially billions of years ago. To get rid of these spiritual burdens, you must undergo more auditing sessions, this time with a device called an E-meter. It measures electrical resistance in your body while you recall painful memories. The goal is to reach a state called clear, free of past trauma.
Watch what it does. See, you're doing it before I even do it, so you're anticipating it. Yeah, see, you're getting it.
Over the decades, Scientology grew, and so did its celebrity connections, Tom Cruise, John Travolta, and that's just a few high-profile names linked to the church. But with growth came controversy. Critics accused the church of aggressive behavior, high-pressure tactics, and financial exploitation. Former members say leaving isn't enough, and the church, it fiercely denies any wrongdoings. So, with all that in mind, millions of followers, decades of secrecy, and a whole lot of questions, I wanted to find out myself, what actually happens when you walk into the Church of Scientology? Behind us is the Church of Scientology, Denver edition. And even outside of the church, you have a sign like this, offering a free personality test. What they don't tell you is this is actually for Scientology, not for Oxford's capacity analysis. It's almost as if they're trying to lure somebody in there on false pretenses. And the most ominous part about this, to me, is the amount of blinds you see that are down. And also, look at this awesome security. 1, 2, well, only 2 cameras. So I guess that's actually not crazy when you think about this is downtown Denver. Even on the back side of the church, you can see all of the blinds are down and they have several cameras. I don't know if Scientologists are allergic to the sun, but it seems like they are.
So first thing is when we did walk up, the shades were all down. There were hardly anyone walking around. There's no one around. So it was like a ghost town, to be completely honest. And then walking in, it felt very eerie because you walk in and it's like a lobby area, and then you turn to your right and then you walk in again to another set of doors, and then there's just gentlemen that are standing almost like they're to the right of you, but kind of almost behind you at that point. And walking in, it wasn't like, hey, how are you thing. It was just kind of, hey. It was just honestly kind of awkward and strange. I felt like we were almost the first people to actually say anything. Hello. And that's when they were like, how can we help you thing. And then we had to sign in, so we had to give them a lot of our information, which...
Did you fake it?
Yeah, I definitely faked that information because I'm not interested in becoming a Scientologist. I just wanted to see what it was like. Really cool because you got to learn a lot about it. What I found the most striking is that really cool because you got to really dive into, I don't know, there was less to really learn about. It was more like you were walking through what Scientology was, and they were trying to show you that it was almost like a way of life rather than a religion. But the entire time I just felt this eeriness of it's time to leave. We weren't offered a tour really to go through. It was here and have fun kind of thing. And I just like, the entire time I just wanted to leave, so.
Due to us not having the ability to film inside of the Church of Scientology, I just wanted to give you a key eyewitness, maybe use ChatGPT and AI to help me out what it felt like and what it looked like. But when you walk in, they give you this pamphlet And this is the actual layout of what the church looked like. And then all of these little cutouts were pillars of what they are. Obviously, the main ones for R.L. Hubbard. And then throughout the, I don't know if I'd call it church. I would say more like exhibit. They had these DVD packets. I don't know if you can see that DVD. Really struck me is when we were leaving, there were about 2 individuals around our age, a man and a woman. I went up to them. I asked, hey, are you guys in the Church of Scientology? They said yes. Me being myself, I wanted to give them a false sense of security and then just interact with them and just think, you know, what are they like? What are Scientologists like? And after talking to them, it felt like, I hate saying this about people that don't have a chance to defend themselves, but it legitimately felt like there was nothing there behind their eyes. You could just tell that they had a way of thinking, and that was it. When we asked them, hey, are you guys Scientologists? What is it like? It was like they went straight to defensive mode of, hey, no, this is what we're about, positivity. And it felt like they were just pitching us their religion. I will say they were very nice. They really harped on no drug use, immortality, putting your family in front of others. Research that I've done myself, that doesn't seem like the case. So by now you might be wondering, what's the deal with all the controversy? Scientology isn't just talked about because of its beliefs, it's what happens behind closed doors that sparked the most attention. Critics and former members have alleged serious issues, things like forced labor in elite church programs, being cut off from family, and even being held in isolation for speaking out. On top of that, there have been long-running rumors around financial secrecy, offshore accounts, tax loopholes, and the kind of stuff you'd expect from a corporation, not a religion. Then there's auditing. The church says it's a path of spiritual clarity, but ex-members claim those private sessions are recorded and sometimes used to keep people quiet. Leading it all is David Miscavige, and he's been the head of the church since the 80s, but seen publicly in years. There's even speculations about his wife Shelley, who hasn't been seen since 2007. Now, to be clear, these are allegations and the church denies all of it, but it raises questions. Why does so much Scientology feel hidden? Another thing that struck me about this Church of Scientology building is how inconspicuous it is to the naked eye. For instance, the parking lot is in this fenced-in area, and back there is where we met the people who are around our age. If you just take a look and see, if you're walking down the street, right, between Blake and I want to say this is 15, this wouldn't even catch your eye. But nothing about that area made it feel like they wanted you to stay, but it also didn't feel like they wanted you there. We stopped you and asked about the Church of Scientology. What do you know about it by chance?
Not great, just to be honest with you. I obviously, popular media like Leah Remini's series and things like that, or even just HBO documentary was pretty impactful because it's very biased. Obviously, they're trying to tell a story, but facts are the facts. And when things are suspicious and you can't get answers from, right and wrong is wrong. So it's just hard to defend people who you don't have a defense for even.
Do you think it's more of a cult or more of a religion?
No, cult. I'm so sorry. It might be offensive and that's fine, but it's just not, I'm not going to deny what it is because in religions, you have choices. A lot of people leave religions and explore a lot of things and even maybe come back to them. But like, when you don't have a choice, that literally, I feel, in my opinion, breaks the law. And that's what, that's that defining line between cult and religion, period.
You seen the Church of Scientology in Chicago?
For sure.
Is it pretty eerie or? We were just in there and honestly, it was right there downtown, right?
Office, no, the one right there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wait, well, we gotta ask you now. We gotta ask you.
Watch a video. I was on my way to court. No, from court.
So you were on your way from court and watched the video?
They had me watch the video.
What was it about?
It was crazy.
He's scared of the camera. It's okay. I feel you, bro.
It's fine.
What is it like what is the Church of Scientology in Chicago?
No.
Have you ever been recruited?
No. Okay. So they do be outside like everybody else, and they do be handing out the little flyers or whatnot, little pamphlets. There's just laminated, so it kind of stands out a little bit. But it's not necessarily.
That is actually really impressive when you say it out loud that they're all laminated.
No, they're like,
yeah.
They're very, very serious, and obviously it tries to portray seriousness. But in reality, they don't really have a presence because I feel like as much as people are about their money, they're also about, I would say, longevity of their personal line. Selfish as it is, I think that people are just out for themselves at the end of the day. And with that being said, Scientology doesn't really have a standing leg to stand on because at the end, Scientology is all about making their money and not about the individual. I don't know what they're doing.
So are we. I need you guys to subscribe. And watch the videos.
Help me help you. Like that.
Awesome. That's really all I had. I really appreciate it.
Oh my God, thank y'all so much.
He told me he knew a little bit about Church of Scientology. What do you know about him?
Well, I just know that you got to sign a contract for like 1 million years, and then you get promised land or like fucking, what's it called, a whole kingdom in the kingdom of Zeus. So if anyone wants to give me a kingdom, just go sign me up, all right?
Would you ever join the Church of Scientology?
I would not unless I'm Tom Cruise II.
Do you think Tom Cruise gets like cheaper salvation since he's Tom Cruise?
I feel like he gets a bigger kingdom. Maybe like a few horses, you know? Some crazy shit from Earth, but nothing from Zeus.
Do you live in this general area?
I do not live in this general area, no.
Have you?
No, this is not a really frequent area I go to, but I try to stay away from area just because, you know, the Venezuelans.
Oh, shit.
Yo,
All right.
whoa,
We
whoa.
might have to do that. We might do that video next. Awesome. Appreciate you, Edwin.
Have a good one, man.
Yeah, you too. The general public doesn't know much about it other than it does somewhat seem like a cult.
I do want to say, I have no beef with the Scientologists. This is only a video. I'm trying to get clout. This is all stuff that I found on the internet already. So, you know, don't come after me. Just a guy who thought it would be an interesting video. If you guys watched all the way till now, thank you so much. You know, don't be afraid to hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you next week, possibly.